the Attica prison uprising was 100% preventable. 100% preventable. The prisoners go through all the means they can, right? They do their July manifesto. They talk to the commissioner of all of the New York State penitentiary system, right? That's Russell Oswald. They talk to his second in charge, Walter Dunbar. They literally go on a hunger strike. 700 out of the 2,300 go on a hunger strike for a full day. And they're trying to get the attention of these people to tell them that, like, the correctional officers are treating them like shit. The correctional officers who like them are fucking telling them, they're telling their superiors, like, something bad is going to happen because of the way we're treating these men. They know something bad is going to happen. It is so fucking preventable, right? And then I haven't even gotten through the entire actual days of the riot, but on Monday, right, we're go check all these last videos. We're talking about the Attica prison uprising. You can look at all the resources at the link in my bio. But the Monday morning when this all happens, the prisoners are prepared for this. They know that something bad is about to happen. They hear the helicopters come in, and they assume, because none of them have any real weapons, right? They are wrapped up in sheets. They have football helmets on because they're allowed to play football in the yard. They are gathering what they can as makeshift weapons. But they're assuming that they're going to come in with rubber bullets, right? And they assume that because that would make sense. That's not what happens. So we have the day of this retaking and how violent it is. Why? Because the New York State Police are fucking pissed. They come in with correctional officers right on their tails, and they're coming in with guns from their own houses. They're coming in with an arsenal of guns that have been handed out to everybody without keeping track of who they're handing them out to. Why? Because if an autopsy happens on a person who has since passed away, they can figure out what bullet it is. They might be able to trace the bullet back to the gun, but if they don't have a record of who was holding the gun, they can't charge anybody. They did it on purpose. And by the way, the guns they're using are illegal. They are illegal to be used in war based off of the UN Convention on War because of the way the bullets explode inside of you. The New York State Troopers pull the trigger. They are a minor villain in this story. The real fucking villain is the state of New York and their lack of accountability. They refuse to take any accountability for any of this, right? They get in their big microphone the day after, and they say that all of the hostages that they have found, their throats were cut. They weren't killed by bullets. Their throats were cut. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. Every single one of them died from bullet wounds. Which side had guns? One side. One side had guns, and that is the state of New York. And then when the autopsies come out and the MD comes in front of everybody and he starts saying all these things, he gets, like, harangued, right? They bring in, like, 2 other doctors to prove it, and literally every single one of them is like, yeah, we're doctors, we're gonna tell you the truth, and the truth is that these people were shot by bullets. These people were not, they don't have any sort of wounds on them that could have killed them other than these multiple bullets, because these New York State Troopers came in, again, with the correctional officers on their heels, and just shot at everyone. Now, the National Guard comes in right afterwards, and the National Guard has doctors, and they have other people, and point blank, during some of the hearings that happen after this, one of the National Guardsmen gets asked, and this is all recorded, you can watch this on the 1971 documentary Attica, and trying to have, like, a gotcha moment, the person asking this National Guardsman is like, well, you've never seen combat, have you? And that National Guardsman, with a straight face, looks and says, I saw war. It was on September 13th, 1971, in the Attica State Correctional Facility. These National Guardsmen, tried to report the atrocities. They tried to explain to people that, like, these inmates had all been stripped naked. One guy, Big Black Frank Smith, he is laid out naked on a table with his limbs all hanging off. He has to hold a football under his chin. If he drops a football, he's gonna die. People are throwing lit cigarettes on him. People are treating him so poorly. They try to get him to stand up after hours and hours and hours of doing this, and he collapses to his knees. Because when your legs are hanging off that way for so long, you lose feeling in all of your limbs. And, like, he's not the only one, right? They made them walk through broken glass. They were all, like, they beat the shit out of them. There are people who died after the retaking of the prison. And everyone is lied to. Everyone is lied to. The hostages' families, the prisoners' families, everybody is lied to, and it comes down from the state. There are whistleblowers on both sides, and literally it still takes until the time that I'm walking on this earth, right? It happens in 1971. I'm born in the 90s. And that is when they start to get an inkling of justice for anybody. And then the hostage families hear that the prisoners have gotten some money from the state, and they get pissed off. And when they finally learn that the prisoners kept their loved ones safe, or as safe as they could, they realize that they're fucking on the same team, and the actual villain in this is New York State. And the fucking president at the time, Richard Nixon. It was so fucking preventable. There are so many villains in this story, and the prisoners did the best they could, and they worked so hard, and they still had to fight for their lives every single day for the next fucking 4 decades.